centro de la pampa vive un pimiento. Sol y viento pa' su vida, sol y viento. Sol y viento.
Bonjour, ici Patrick Bernard. Bienvenue à la 69e édition du Pimento. Aujourd'hui, on va voir des gens qui luttent pour une forêt. Hello, I'm Patrick Barnard. Welcome to the 69th edition of the Pimento Report. Today we're going out to Roxboro, Quebec, and we're going to see and listen to citizens who are fighting to save a beautiful forest. Here you see an aerial map of Roxboro Forest. The larger part is in Roxboro, that's one jurisdiction. A smaller triangle to the right of the dotted line is in Dollard-des-Ormeaux. That's another jurisdiction. That's the part that is going to be destroyed and replaced by concrete. And this story involves fragmentation, the destruction of one part of an ecosystem that threatens the whole ecological environment. This is the suburbs of Montreal Island. Actually, green space is being lost in these kinds of areas almost by the minute, though on the surface you would not think that. But in fact, that is what is happening. People moved out here to get green and to get health for their children, but in fact, urban development is coming here very fast indeed. And that is why people are so upset about losing these precious woods, even a part of them. Well, here I am on 16th Avenue in Roxboro, and I'm walking to this endangered woods. It's a Saturday morning, and it's very quiet out here for an inner city boy like me. Now we're going to go into these woods, and it is said that it's a really big surprise when you enter these woods. Now I'm walking through these woods on this Saturday morning, beautiful light rain, gentle sound of birds and the canopy of the trees, and I'm walking towards the section of the woods that is threatened by a rather institutional looking condo development. I see two defenders. Okay, what is special about this forest? Tell us.
It's our refuge. You know, you come here every day. You know, after work, I just grab the dog and come. And everything goes away for a few minutes. You're in here. It's quiet. It's peaceful. We come to meet all our friends. The dogs meet up. We have some social time with the neighbors. You see children in here digging up, turning rocks over and finding worms. And it's just to have this so close to home is so essential.
Do you walk your dog here every day?
Yes.
Almost every evening after supper time.
What do you feel about this proposed development on the Dollard side of the woods?
Yeah, it was sad when I said that big
I don't know if he needs the light, but at least
cart there and that trailer. I said to everybody, I was the first to notice that. So, oh, you see that trailer? That's a big condo. I said, oh yeah, when they first put it there, eh? Yeah. And of course, a few months later, we can see cars everywhere now.
Do you think it will have a very negative effect on the woods?
Well, they're gonna cut part of the other side there still, but they're not gonna stop there eventually. So if we don't stop them now.
As you know, a number of scientific studies in the last several years have indicated that people live up to 5 years longer if they have access to woods like this. Their children will be much healthier. There are very strong health reasons to preserve a forest like this.
That's it. Well, there we go. I feel great. When I come in here, everything goes away. I can forget the day. I can just relax and get my thoughts together and then carry on and go home and do the rest of the part of my day. I need this. I can't survive without this.
And you know, and there's 100 years old trees here, lots, and it's a small forest, but still, no, it's still nice.
It's very beautiful.
Like I said in French, it's my oasis de paix. When I come here, it's very relaxed.
Oui, on peut le dire en français, c'est bien spécial, hein?
Oui, oui, c'est une belle place.
Oui. Est-ce que vous êtes ici presque chaque jour avec votre chien? Alors vous connaissez l'endroit très très bien, hein?
Oui, oui. Moi je demeure à quelques rues d'ici. C'est triste. De plus en plus, hein, on connaît les promoteurs. Eux, l'important c'est de bâtir des condos. Mais il faudrait arrêter à un certain point de couper des arbres, là, puis de garder les espaces verts qui restent au moins.
Surtout parce que Montréal se donne l'image d'être très écologique.
Aussi, oui, c'est ça. Puis ils ont déjà coupé beaucoup. Et comparé à beaucoup de villes, Montréal, il n'y a pas tant d'espace vert que ça. C'est sûr qu'il y a le Mont-Royal, mais quand même, tu sais. S'il y en a un petit peu plus un peu partout à travers Montréal.
Je ne pense pas que la population est aussi consciente de la situation parce qu'on a perdu beaucoup, comme à Laval par exemple.
Oui, oui, beaucoup de forêts, beaucoup de boisés qui perdent, puis encore, ça n'arrête pas, ça continue. Hein?
Ouais. OK, merci monsieur. Bonne journée. Hein? The gentleman just said to me in French, if they cut that edge of the forest, that will only be the beginning. We have to stop it here. Is that your view?
Yes, there's a large portion on that perimeter, on the east perimeter, and on the south perimeter that is in Dollard territory that is not protected as parkland. The part we're standing on now is in Roxboro Pierrefonds territory. It is protected. We're very grateful to the council for this very good gesture. This was done in 2007. But not only might we lose more to development, but just having development in such proximity to the forest, it takes away the whole character of the forest. It's a quite small forest, so when you take one huge portion out of it, what are we left with? We're going to be, rather than walking on paths, we're going to be walking through a parking lot. I don't want
What
that.
has the mayor? What has the mayor of Dollard des Ormeaux said? What has the council said when you've approached them?
They've been pretty tight-lipped about it. They say there's nothing they can do. It's private property. Not only can they do nothing, but we shouldn't even be using that land, which we weren't even aware of. It's not marked in any way that it was private, so no one was aware of that. And to quote the mayor, he, in an interview, said that Dollard has enough green space.
But that's not true scientifically.
I don't believe so. And if they have some old-growth forest remaining on their land, they have a responsibility to protect it for the whole island.
Alors, vous êtes ici, c'est samedi matin, il y a un peu de pluie.
Oui.
Pour quelle raison, mademoiselle?
Pour nettoyer la belle forêt, parce que c'est vraiment dommage, ils sont en train de la détruire. Et les gens qui jettent leurs déchets à terre, ça nuit à la biodiversité, donc c'est très important de la nettoyer.
Est-ce que vous faites partie d'une organisation?
Oui, de l'écoquartier de Pierrefonds-Roxboro.
Ah, formidable. Alors, apparemment, ils vont couper des arbres dans une portion de la forêt. Pensez-vous que ça, c'est un grand danger pour la forêt comme telle?
Ben oui, absolument.
On voit depuis des années et des années qu'ils coupent un peu de chaque côté depuis des années. Donc on se dit s'ils continuent, il n'y a rien qui lui dit qu'ils vont pas continuer après, puis c'est à ce moment-là qu'on risque de perdre la forêt au complet. Alors on est aussi ici pour la mobilisation, puis pour dire qu'on veut la conserver.
Moi, je suis toujours étonné que les Montréalais, par exemple, ils ont des choses extraordinaires. Et il y a toujours un gars qui voudrait couper les arbres centenaires. C'est extraordinaire. Peut-être c'est un manque d'information, pensez-vous?
C'est aussi l'attrait du profit. Les gens veulent faire l'argent. Ils se disent une forêt, un arbre, ben moi je peux pas l'utiliser, je peux pas faire d'argent avec. Alors si je la coupe, que je fais une maison, que je vends la maison, je vais faire de l'argent. Et oui, alors c'est sûr qu'il faut sensibiliser ces gens-là à l'importance de la forêt parce qu'eux ils voient pas. Ils comprennent pas que garder cette forêt-là, c'est une richesse inestimable et que c'est vraiment important de la conserver. Est-ce qu'on se dit quand est-ce qu'ils vont arrêter, qui va leur dire d'arrêter, qui va être capable de dire non, c'est assez, la forêt il faut la garder. Il n'y a personne encore qui fait ça, c'est au travail des citoyens d'avoir cette responsabilité-là. C'est pour ça qu'on
à l'origine, c'est l'attrait de la banlieue. C'est pour ça que les gens sont venus déménager à la banlieue, c'est la proximité de la nature, de l'environnement. Justement, c'est quelque chose qui est en train de se perdre au profit des développeurs, au profit des promoteurs.
C'est un grand paradoxe. Les gens déménagent pour avoir justement accès aux forêts et tout de suite... Oui, on les coupe. Oui. Alors, on va lutter contre cette destruction, je pense.
Voilà, c'est ça qu'on fait aujourd'hui.
OK. Alors, merci beaucoup.
Merci à vous.
Salut.
What you do is you look to the goodwill of the landowner, right, the proprietor. And if you can make an arrangement to everybody's satisfaction, it's good PR for the promoter. It's good PR for Allard. It carries favor with residents in Allard and Pierre Fond both. So there's something to be brought. There's something to be brought to the issue. So we hope there'll be
I'm not that familiar with all the bird species,
a dialogue.
especially on
The issue for me is it's a very important issue. I know there are economic considerations with this, but there's untold economic downsides to developing places like this that are now coming to the fore and being told. And what it is, people's health, physical health, and their psychological health is affected by the presence or the removal of places like this.
David Fletcher is walking through the woods with Mayor Worth of Roxboro, and it's kind of interesting situation. Madam Worth, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You have preserved your part of this forest.
Preserved by Roxboro at the time when they were a city.
Yeah.
You were saying about the
And that would have been how long ago?
everything environmental? I'm a big believer in that. I use it all the time.
Roxboro is
By the way,
100
if you're
years old. I don't know when it
interested
happened,
more
what
on that
year.
particular
That showed a lot of foresight.
National de
Of course.
Santé Publique du Québec
And we
published a
have
document
no
in
idea, we have no
2010
intentions
exactly
of
on that,
changing
green
this
spaces
at all.
and
But whatever
human
happens
health.
on the other
It's
side,
on their website, and
It's in the lap of the gods.
well, I
what
think
would I say?
it all depends if the people are
gathering together of all
opposing
the
and
evidence
if
from
they
around the world,
do a certain act
that these effects
of showing up
exist.
to the city
Well, I'm on the
hall
South
and meet with
Territory.
the citizens,
Okay, I've
the
always been
councillors and the mayor and
health
put up an opposition.
Yeah.
So it was, this you don't have very often in the center of a city,
C'est bien spécial. Je pense que c'est vraiment quelque chose de spécial.
C'est quelque chose qu'il faut s'habituer à protéger. Mais, vous savez, quand les terrains sont des propriétés privées depuis des années, et je pense que c'est M. Gazaille, je ne suis pas sûre. Si c'est M. Gazaille, il connaît très bien la région, mais est-ce qu'il va le faire? C'est une autre histoire.
OK, merci beaucoup.
Bienvenue.
It looks like it's open and it's selling already.
And there's a lot of 100 years
Trees.
tree here, and part of it is on that side too. And what I think it's just a beginning,
Yeah.
Once it starts.
So this gives you an idea. There you've got the construction office, and behind it the forest.
Yeah.
And that's the forest that will disappear.
Yeah, completely.
This tree right here is a butternut, and that's a tree now that is increasingly becoming rare in the province of Quebec. A butternut's in the walnut family, and it is rare and becoming rarer in the province.
Because people cut them down.
They're growing exactly in the area where all the development is taking place, right?
There's a lot of condo development around here now, which there didn't used to be.
Well, when I come out from the center city, I'm struck by what I see as the changes taking place in the suburbs, almost right before people's eyes, and yet a lot of people don't think about it too much, I don't think.
No, I guess the problem is if you live here, it seems quite a slow change. It's only when you look back over a number of years you realise how drastic the change has been. Certainly in the 30 years I've been here, it's huge. The amount that's been built up even in that 30 years has been huge.
Here I am looking at the beautiful grain of this tree. This is
very typical. These stripes down here, these light stripes in the fissure in the bark, is typical of butternut. And then you've got these flat surfaces with that.
It's very beautiful. Is that a hardwood, Dave?
I'm sorry?
Is it a hardwood?
It is considered a hardwood, yes.
How old do you think this tree is?
Oh my golly, that's an interesting thing to estimate. Let me just see here. We have about a foot wide. I'd say we're probably talking 80 years, maybe 70 years.
As a member of the Green Coalition, do you think the environmental situation in Montreal is critical now?
Oh, certainly, yes. I mean, there's very little left. What's preserved is preserved. We've got to be very vigilant to make sure that it stays preserved. And I guess we really need to work to save these lost little fragments like these woods here. This is a very good example of something that it really seems most unfortunate if it can't be preserved.
What is the value of this forest that's going to disappear?
Oh my golly, the value is inestimable on so many fronts. You know, I think, but particularly today, I think this is a value to people, the people in this particular community, but also in the broader community. And here in Dollard, and as well as over on the other side in Roxboro. And it's a small forest to begin with. But people draw benefit from it. They draw health benefits, they draw psychological benefits. Children, for example, have a place to engage their imaginations and to develop their creativity. And I think forests like this are a very important part of the intellectual and creative development of the next generation coming up. And you know, we're talking about, you know, the obesity epidemic that we've got. Young children are now inside for the most part in front of computer screens and so on. And I think it's so important to conserve these places, at least to give the opportunity to families to get their children out into nature.
Dave, I've got to ask you a question. In the news, in the past week, it's been reported that people who live in these kinds of newer houses just over to my right now and to your left, that these new residents of DDO are very unhappy about losing these woods. They came here to be next to them.
This is the thing. You know, it's a strange irony, of course, that the condo development here will draw value from the woods that are on the other side in Roxboro, not in their own municipality, in fact, right? It'll draw people there, and it'll give added value to the people owning that condo block, you know, in terms of their rents and so on. Meantime, these people here realize a loss in value on their properties simply because something of value like this, everybody recognizes this, they're drawn to this and when buying their properties, like you've suggested, and you know, they lose that and have it replaced by a concrete wall and a brick wall.
Is this forest a symbol of what's wrong with us?
If something happens to it, I believe so, yes.
You also said it's a symbol of what's right with us. What do you mean by that?
This is where we're meant to be. You come in, we're meant to be in these spaces. We need these spaces. We're part of these spaces. Without them, we're not whole. We're not complete. We need them.
What strikes me is, because I came here from downtown, that people who live in the suburbs, who moved here to get access to places like this, often are not aware that this is going to be taken away from them, and very fast.
I agree. Everyone I spoke to did not know about this project. None of them. And council in Dollard's response to that was that the notices were done in all the proper manners. They were posted in the paper, and registers were posted. But I don't think people who just go to work and come home every day or stay home with their children and use the woods follow these issues enough to know when they have to act. And they didn't.
What are the plans of the Friends of the Forest now?
to continue gain support by encouraging the neighborhood to really use the forest, to get as much publicity in that area as we can, to have as many people enjoy it, so that then they possibly can support us to take our opposition to DDO and really ask them to make another decision on this project.
Are people prepared to perhaps engage in civil disobedience?
I don't know. We'll see. I hope so.
Okay. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.